Yes. Okay, so we are at the full moon in Gemini and a penumbral lunar eclipse, which means that we're in a certain position where we're catching some of the shadow of the Earth, and therefore the moon is a little darker than it normally would be. Okay, they have a lot of names for the different moons, and some of them has to do with how far it is from the Earth, how near it is to the Earth, and that sort of thing. But we're under the Sun in Sag, which is mutable fire, and we're under the Gemini moon, which is mutable air. So we've got fire and air. And so we've got a choice here. Do we want to have the wind fan the flames? Or do we want to just have enough gentle air to, ignite our desire for transformation? And it said that Gemini is the lower mind and Sagittarius is the higher mind. And there may be some truth to that because I don't know if I've gone over this with you before or not, but the zodiac is broken into quadrants. So the first four, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer, are what we call the I. Their whole purpose in life is to manifest self and to work on self. And then we begin with Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio are we. And so they're the quadrant of relationships. So their purpose from their different perspectives is to foster relationships, to figure out how to do relationships. I've had a lot, so I guess I've succeeded. Whether they were successful or not. And then the last four, which are Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, are the us. So they're the universal. So we've got Gemini as an I, and Sagittarius is as an us or we. Okay. So we have both of those influences going. Let me see what else to tell you. What part of what astrology is about, and it also refers to the old shamanic practices, is moving the fool in Tarot to the world. So you're starting out at that innocent level, the baby level, baby steps, and you're wanting to move to the higher. Just as we could say that, well, we're dealing with the chakras, we could say that Gemini is more of a lower chakra, and Sagittarius is a higher chakra. And so one of the things we're going to do in the meditation today is we're going to send some energy to balance that energy that flows. And then also, this is a time when certainly a lot of our illusions have been dashed by what's happened in the world. And so in my second book, I talked about the 7 veils of illusion. And so in the meditation, we're going to go through the 7 veils of illusion and see where we are with those. How does that sound? Okay, let me see what else. We're also being asked as we move into 2021 to be more authentic, truthful, and vulnerable. And I would hope that the sacrifices that we've made with COVID of relationships and closeness and interactions and gatherings will help us get to authenticity. Once we process the grief of what we're letting go of, it's time to really get to that place of truth and authenticity. So I think that will be a good thing for all of us to come to. And let's see if there's anything else in my little notes here. We're also being asked to work more on partnership, on building partnerships. And I'm also seeing a vision for this coming year of, we know that a lot of our systems are breaking down. And so once we've grieved that, then I think it's time to look at what can we create. Now that we've just taken it down, let's see from the ashes what we can build. And that could be quite amazing because I really feel like the economics are going to be more and more impacted, which means that there's going to be a leveling out at some point, and there will be a place in which people will recognize that inequality and inequity is not going to create any kind of societies that are sustainable for the earth or for humanity. So that's my kind of wrap where we're at with that. So I think we'll begin with a little calling in ceremony. And John, where you are, your east is going to be Mount Baker. And of course, our east is going to be the Organ Mountains. Okay, so we're going to focus on the direction east, the direction of beginnings, the direction of the rising sun and the rising moon, which didn't show up in time for me tonight. And we'll think about qualities of clarity, wisdom, and illumination. If you want to direct your attention upward, Spirits of the East, we invite you to join us in circle tonight under this Gemini full moon, under the sun in Sagittarius, and we ask you to shine your light on us that we may come to illumination. We ask that eagle and condor, which according to legend are meeting at this time to change the planet, fly beautifully high aloft, viewing everything that is going on and begin to send us messages of how we might come to a different place in our relationship with each other and with the planet. We also honor dawn, which is a magical time, as we begin each day with an intention of moving toward our highest and best good. And we pause for a moment and we think about any place in our life that we would like to begin to plant seeds for the next cycle of animation, for beginnings. And we say, luz, paz, amor, conciencia, armonía. And so it is. So it be. And then we turn to the west, which for us is the Rio Grande. And there are many waters that are west for John and Jessica. Certainly the ocean. To the spirits of the West, we invite you this night of the full moon. We invite you, knowing more than ever that it is time for us to surrender the veils of illusion. We ask you to open that corridor, to let us see through all the things that keep us from being and doing what we came here for. We call on the spirit of Grizzly Bear tonight, who demonstrates enormous strength. A standing grizzly is quite a monument to strength. And we're asking for experience, introspection, and strength in this direction. And we're honoring twilight, the other magic time, perhaps more impactful than dawn. But dusk is the time in which we bring in and connect with all of the fairies and the magical beings that help us release the things from our consciousness, from our sight, from all of our senses that in any way encumber us on our journey. And so we offer thanks as we did at Thanksgiving. Thanks for this passage of time, this cycle of animation that begins to wane after tonight. We think of those things which we can say thank you for, which we can appreciate. And so it is, luz, paz, amor, conciencia, armonía. We've now opened the wall, the magic corridor from east to west. And now we turn to the north and we direct our attention to the direction of the ancestors. Spirits of the North, ancestors, wisdom connectors. If ever there was a time that we earth beings need to connect with you, it is now. And we ask you to walk with us, metaphorically, at this full moon. We ask you to infuse us with your wisdom, your knowledge, guiding us in our responsibility to the generation that will come after us. Let us find ways at this time, as the light is deepening, the dark is deepening and the light is minimizing, to be cleansed, purified, and renewed in body and mind and spirit, in thought, in word, and deed. And in this direction, we call on White Buffalo and White Buffalo Calf Woman who brought the pipe of peace to the people and shared the many ceremonies of the people and talked about a time when the White Buffalo would return and peace would come. And we know that peace is sometimes preceded by conflict, but we trust in our heart of hearts that peace will come, that a beautiful new unfoldment is just at our fingertips. And so we thank White Buffalo and White Buffalo Calf Woman, and we smoke a metaphoric pipe piece that we might remember the union of male and female and all the dualities and polarities on this plane. And we listen for the voices of wisdom, that we will know how best to navigate the good red road. And so it is, luz, paz, amor, conciencia, armonía. Now we turn to the south. In the south, we're looking for the faith protectors and guardians of innocence. Spirits of the South, we invite you this night to bring that youthful energy, that pure innocence, the belief in goodness and wholeness, the enthusiasm and the excitement that is the domain of the young child. Bring that into each of us that we might always hold that young being inside that will help us with growth, with trust, and with love. And we call in Hummingbird this night because Hummingbird so much demonstrates the lightness of being. And if we have a task moving into the next year, besides repair and restore and rebuild, it's to reclaim lightness, to eschew all the heaviness that we've experienced in the last several months, to lift ourselves up and resurrect that little boy and that little girl inside of us that is full of joy, that loves this time of year, believes in Santa Claus and all the magical beings. To be present with us like butterfly, lightly moving about, moving at will, coming close when it feels comfortable, maintaining distance or boundaries when necessary, but always a being of light. And we say, luz, paz, amor, conciencia, armonía, and so it is. We direct our attention upward at the sky, the stars, the moon, all those symbols of light that remind us of our origins. We came from the stars and we return to the stars. Let us invite ourselves to be uplifted, to shine in that light, to broaden our own aura of light, that wherever we are, we offer light to people that perhaps aren't able to be there yet. And rather than judgment, we just move about in that band of light, beaming light and love, light and love. And we're willing to reach just a bit beyond our expectations or our self-imposed limitations to shine brightly so that others will see the light. And so it is. And as our feet touch the ground or wherever they're touching, let us be reminded to honor Mother Earth and to thank her so profoundly for this beautiful planet, to thank her for all of the kingdoms of animal, plant, mineral, and human, to thank her for the elements of water and earth and air and fire. Let us be reminded how glorious this planet once was and begin to vision that return as we repair and restore this place back to its original beauty so that all may live in peace and harmony. And so it is. We place both of our hands over our heart and we just begin to breathe into the heart, just gently filling it until we begin to feel the internal fire. That one place in our being is always available to us in love. And we let that grow like a peat fire because we understand this internal higher heart does not die. It is always with us. And so when we feed it, we breathe into it and we warm it, we can begin to send that energy of love and heat and light all around the globe. We can imagine that we're holding the earth right now. And as we turn, we see the continents and we see the we see the bodies of water, the sea, and everything that is present in that. And we are grateful. We are so grateful that we have that ability to send light and love to every being, every kingdom on this planet, on this good earth. And we say, so it is. And we acknowledge the east, the west, the north, the south, and all our relations. Mitakuye, and so it is. We're going to move into doing a little more work with the heart before we do our communion. So I'm going to ring the bell and then I'm going to ask you to say some things with me. Body, speech, and mind. We'll say this together. Body, speech, and mind.
Body, speech, and mind.
In perfect oneness.
In perfect oneness.
I send my heart, along with the sound of this bell.
Along with the sound of this bell.
May the heavens awaken from their forgetfulness.
May the heavens awaken from their forgetfulness.
And transcend the path of all anxieties and sorrows.
Transcend the path of all anxieties and sorrows.
Listening to the bell,
Listening to the bell.
I feel any afflictions or negative in me begin to dissolve.
Feel any afflictions or negative in me begin to dissolve.
My mind is calm.
My mind is calm.
And my body's relaxed.
My body's relaxed.
A smile is born on my lips. Following the sound of the bell,
Following the sound of the bell,
I go back to the island of mindfulness.
we go back to the island of mindfulness.
And in the garden of my heart,
Garden of my heart,
The flowers of peace
Flowers
Flowers of peace
bloom beautifully.
bloom beautifully.
Now I want you to, we're leading up to our little communion ceremony. Have any of you ever participated in the heart lock technique?
Nope.
Okay. All right, so close your eyes for a moment, focus on your heart. And I want you to go back in your mind to a time when you felt so appreciated. It can be any situation with any person that you bring up. But the feeling in your heart is an openness because you feel appreciated. We could say that someone got you. They understand who you are and your magnificence. And I want you to just breathe into that. See how that feels. To just bathe in the warmth of heartfelt appreciation. And as you breathe, lock in that situation. So at any time, you could go back to the situation and you could feel appreciated. And in that appreciation, of course, is love. And whenever we can tap into the love that we've shared, the love we've had for another, or the love that has been given to us, we begin to lock in that very open heart. And then, John, if you want to put your video on, we're going to do the little communion thing together. You want the bread or cracker handy first? I managed not to spill everything. And I just want to share with you that many of the ancient traditions predated Christianity, as I said before, and they were built into Christianity. The Mother Mary worship was the goddess worship. You know, if you can't kill it, join them. And so this celebration is about honoring the sanctity of our being. And through alchemy, we manipulate this bread and this wine or water or whatever we have as soul food. You know, we think about our physical food, our breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks and whatever, and our Thanksgiving to feed our body. But there are times when we need to feed our soul. So we're going to take our bread, a little piece of it. I've got a little corn muffin I made, it'll do. And we're going to say together, I hold this bread in my hands
I hold this bread in my hands
with an intention
With an
with an
intention
intention
to convert its energy
to convert its
energy
into sacred food
sacred food
with which to feed my soul.
with which to feed my soul.
soul.
As I eat this bread,
As I eat this bread,
I am reminded
I am reminded
of the sacredness of my corporal body,
of the sacredness of my corporal body,
which serves as shelter for my eternal being.
which serves as shelter for my eternal being.
And I bless it.
and I bless it.
Blessed
May this bread be received by my body
It is
bread be received by my body
as a sacred feast of manna from heaven.
It's a sacred feast.
sacred feast of manna from heaven.
May we also be fed
May we also
as a community dedicated
As
to,
as a community dedicated
to fostering the spiritual evolution
fostering the spiritual evolution
of our planet.
of our planet.
We are grateful for all the goodness
We are grateful for all the goodness
we receive.
we receive.
And now you can eat your bread. Then we're going to hold up our drink, whatever it is. I drink this wine
I drink this wine
with an intention
with the
With an
intention
intention
to convert its energy
to convert its energy
into the sacred blood that flows through my veins.
of the sacred
sacred
blood
blood
of my
flows
life.
through my veins.
As I drink this wine,
As I drink
As
this
I
wine,
drink this wine,
I'm reminded
I am reminded
reminded
of the sacredness of my blood
of the sacredness of my blood
as the life force
as the life force
that supports and nourishes
that supports and nourishes
the very existence
the very existence
of my bodies,
of my bodies.
corporal and sacred.
corporal and sacred.
I bless this wine
I bless this wine
as I bless the blood flowing effortlessly through the rivers of my life,
as I bless blood flowing effortlessly
through the rivers of my life at this very moment.
at this very moment.
May this wine be received
May this wine be received
by my blood
by
By my blood,
as nourishment and enrichment.
as
nourishment and enrichment.
May we also be gifted a sacred flow of energy
May we also
We have to gift the sacred flow of energy
in our community of spiritual evolution.
in our community of spiritual evolution.
We are thankful
We are thankful
Thankful
for all the blood-building nutrients
for all the blood-building nutrients
in this sacred substance.
in this sacred
sacred substance.
And then we're going to drink. And now we're going to say together, we declare our oneness
We declare our oneness
with all life,
with all
all
life.
life,
an intention to devote ourselves
The intention to devote ourselves
devote
to the
ourselves
service
to service
service
and preservation of humankind.
and preservation of humankind.
We welcome conscious planetary evolution
We welcome
Conscious planetary evolution.
the unification of all the world's tribes,
the unification of all the world's tribes
and pledge our support and energies,
and pledge our supporting energies,
each in our own way,
each in our
Our own way,
to quickening the process.
quickening the process.
We in community
We are
We in
community,
community
are rebirthed into higher consciousness
rebirth in
birth into higher consciousness.
by these words
these words.
and our intention.
And our intention.
We welcome the new and support one another,
We welcome the new and support one another,
our families,
Our families,
our community,
our community,
and universal good.
and the universal.
good.
Okay, so that was our communion for the world, to see it as a better place and that we can be a part of it. So now, if you want to lie down or whatever you want to do, we're going to actually do a meditation. So make yourself comfortable. In the background, the song is Loving Kindness for All Beings. And I think that that's a very important entree into this meditation in which we are choosing to be aware of our illusions and to begin to release them. We're hoping as we go into this meditation this night that we will begin to enliven each of our 7 main chakra centers, connecting them with each other, moving from the root chakra to the sacral chakra, to the solar plexus, to the heart, to the throat, to the third eye, and to the crown. So we're going to begin first with 3 very deep breaths, one at a time. The first one will be to make ourselves comfortable in our seating, wherever we are, lying down. The second one will be to bring to mind any emotional tugs or pulls that might be present for us right now. And on the out breath, to blow them and wave them up and away and let the spirits take those away from us. And the third breath, we will breathe so that we can clear our minds and be present. So on the count of 3, let's take a very deep breath into the lower belly. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. Hold. And breathe out. Adjust yourself, raise your shoulders, release your neck, wiggle your toes, whatever you need to do, and just lighten up. Let your arms kind of just hang at the sides. They don't need to do anything right now. And on the count of 3, we're going to do the emotional breath. 1, 2, 3, breathing in. Hold. And release. Blowing away any emotions that might be clinging to us and letting them go to the nothingness from which they came. And on the third breath, 1, 2, 3, breathe in. Hold. And release the sigh. Ah. And assume beginner's mind, void of any suppositions, any assumptions, any preconceived notions, any limiting beliefs. And then I want you to begin to do a rainbow breath so that we can connect these chakras. And what we're going to do is when we breathe in, we're going to imagine that we're breathing in and pulling up energy from our root all the way up to the crown. And I will say the colors of the rainbow as we move that. And then at the top, we're going to release it all the way back down to the bottom. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, hold. And release violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. If you want to take it all the way down to your tiptoes, you can do that. Now we're going to breathe in and pull it up again. Breathing in, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Holding. Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, and release. And keep breathing for a few minutes, saying to yourself as you breathe, red, yellow, orange, green, blue, indigo, violet. Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Pulling that energy up from the root to the sacral, to the solar plexus, to the heart, to the throat, to the third eye, to the crown. from the crown to the third eye, to the throat, to the heart, to the solar plexus, to the sacral chakra, to the root chakra. Continue breathing. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. And imagine that you can see a full arched rainbow from your root chakra up over your back to your crown, and from your crown all the way back to the root. And that you are now enveloped completely in all the colors of the rainbow and connecting the lower chakras to the higher chakras. And as always, acknowledging the bridge chakra, the heart. And just relax. And we're going to move through the 7 veils of illusion. And we'll start at that root chakra. And the first veil is fear. And this fear is based a lot on our early childhood experiences. So detached from any emotions regarding this, ask yourself, am I ready to lift the first veil, the beautiful red veil of fear, knowing that all of my needs will be met, trusting. And if you can imagine yourself at the western gateway, seeing that red veil move to the side and stepping forward to the orange veil. And the veil of illusion here is separation. And we could say this begins for each of us when the cord is cut, connecting us to our own mothership. And in the quiet, ask yourself, am I willing to move that orange veil of separation to the side? Again, without emotion, seeing anything that you see, and allowing yourself to have the bravery and the courage to take down that veil or to put it aside. Knowing that in truth, there is no separation between us. And the next veil, as you step forward, is a beautiful golden yellow, representing our solar plexus and representing power. Almost all of us have had situations in our life where we felt empowered, or we felt disempowered, where we felt we gave our power away, or perhaps we overused our power and had to learn that with power comes some requirements. And so we contemplate this third veil, the veil of power, understanding that our will is what happens to us, that we can hold our personal power without overseeing power, overdoing power on someone else. So again, just be with this yellow gold veil and ask yourself, am I ready to be fully empowered and to empower others, allowing them to be themselves and gifting myself my own power? And now as you're ready, either take down that yellow gold veil or shove it aside and step forward into the beautiful emerald green heart center. And we're dealing here with emotions. Emotions can be good, they can be wonderful, they're part of being human. But there are times when too much is too much, or too little is too little. And so for a moment, think about emotions in your life, the balance of them. Again, without emotion or attachment. Are you willing to be detached from taking things personally? From letting the emotions of others dictate how you feel? And as you choose to begin to navigate your emotions, you notice that in the center of this beautiful emerald green is a golden pink circle, which represents your higher heart. That's the one who will help you move through the other part of the veil and be detached. So when you're ready, take down that veil or push it to the side and step forward to a beautiful cobalt blue veil. And this represents the throat chakra and language. Language can be the most beautiful sharing with others, or it can be the most hurtful, judgmental spewing on others. And we have the choice. We have the choice of the words that we use. We don't wish to say things that we can't take back. don't wish to spew emotional poison at others with our words. So for a moment, review language. How are you doing with language? We've just gone through a horrendous period of vitriol in our body politic. We're now beginning to see much of that dissipate. And as we practice our own language of good intention, we will be able to build those bridges, connecting one another again with the purpose of being democratic. And so sit with language for a moment. And make the choice to take down that veil, to push it to the side, and to use your language for good. And we step forward, and there's a beautiful veil of indigo. And indigo is like a deep, deep purple, with little specks of light and dark in it that shimmers. It opens our third eye, our center of vision. And when we're not up to par, we're not feeling as good as we might, or something is clouded in that vision, we can't see all the beauty that surrounds us. So let us focus on clearing any fog or veils in our inner sight. The entire world of magnificence is open to us. Let's choose to really see how amazing this globe in the sky that we call our planet is. Let us hold on to a vision of waters running freely, of temperate climates and clean air and sufficient food for every single being on the planet. Wars no more. Let's see only peace. It is possible. Open that third eye. In your third eye tonight, imagine you're seeing that beautiful moon, that beautiful full moon, as a guiding light to new ways of being. Hold that vision as you pull down the veil or push it to the side and stand before a beautiful violet veil. And this veil represents our thoughts. All of us have good thoughts and not so good thoughts. And yet it's up to us to choose where we want to place our magical attention and thoughts. We can release some of the old dysfunctional thoughts and thank them for their service to us. And just let them go into the nothingness from which they came, knowing that the more that we think from our higher mind and open that crown chakra to connect with higher self, the more beautiful and fulfilling will this lifetime be. All the external things that are happening will be deflected because we will be at deep peace by choosing our thoughts each day. And so we lift the final veil and we step out into a beautifully arced rainbow across the sky in front of us. And we see beyond the golden cities of the fifth dimension. And we know that we are invited. And we know that we may come back and forth for a while, but ultimately we know this is our place of space travel. This is where our ultimate energy and essence will be in deep peace for all time. So we give ourselves a little hug. Say thank you for being willing to move these veils that limit us back away from where they came, and instead choose to energize each of those points in the body. And to remember that every time we see a rainbow, we can breathe in those colors through each of our chakras, energize ourselves, and remember who we are and why we're here. And so it is.
So it is.
So, have you ever done the Ghandi Foundation, what's it called, Prayer for Peace or something? Have you ever done that? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put our hands like this. We open our palms and we say, I offer you peace.
I offer you peace.
And you put your hand over the other one. I offer you friendship.
I offer you friendship.
Put your hands on your heart. I offer you love.
I offer you love.
I hear your needs.
I hear your needs.
I feel your feelings.
I feel your feelings.
I see your beauty.
I see your beauty.
My wisdom comes from a higher source.
My wisdom comes from a higher source.
I honor that source in you.
I honor that source in you.
Let us work and pray and play together.
Let us work and play and pray together.
And so it is.
So it is.
So how is that?
Nice.
Was
Thank you.
beautiful, Amari.
You're welcome.
Just beautiful.
Well, I think it's the place we have to get into the next year and to actually set aside the detritus and just see what's available. And I put a thing on Facebook today about beauty because I think that beauty is the portal to the soul. And when we're troubled, focus on beauty, either outside or inside. You know, in your home, no matter how humble it is, have some focal point of beauty. And we have such a beautiful place, all of us, to live in. You know, that when we look at that broad view, not the, you know, nearsighted view, life tends to feel a lot better. So I just want to wish you all a good evening and thanks for joining me. And hope to see you again soon.
Thank you so much, Amari, for doing
You
this.
are most welcome.
It was
Okay.
very filled me up.
Oh,
I love
good.
you.
I love you too. I love all of you. I love the world.
Me too.
Okay, guys. Good night.
Bye.